A UK-based people smuggler who ran a £12 million illegal boat crossing operation has been jailed today for 25 years.
65 people crammed onto a vessel built for 12, one engine far too small to cross one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Inner tubes handed out in place of life jackets, not because the smugglers ran out of proper equipment, but because proper equipment cuts into the margin. And somewhere on a beach in northern France, a man with an encrypted phone who has already been paid, who will not be on the boat, and who has already moved on to organising the next crossing before this one has cleared French territorial waters. This is the business model that the National Crime Agency confirmed in May 2026. It has been systematically dismantling, not just on the beaches of Kent, not just at Dover, but in warehouses in Germany, in storage units in Belgium, in courtrooms in Bruges, in cities in Iraq and Libya, in social media server farms that have removed over 10,000 accounts, advertising smuggling services to desperate people across 3 continents. That's why British Front Media exists. Subscribe now, because what follows is the complete picture. Reason number 1. The NCA seized over 500 boats and engines in 2025 and led 400 disruptions against organised immigration crime networks in a single year, a 14% increase on the year before. These are the NCA's own published figures, released on the 17th of May 2026. In the year to April 2026, the NCA was involved in around 300 arrests related to organised immigration crime, both in the UK and overseas, compared to 190 the year before, a 55% increase. During the 2025 to 26 financial year, the NCA led on 400 disruptions against organised immigration crime networks, up from 350 the previous year. Each disruption represents the removal, prevention, or reduction of a criminal threat. And in 2025 specifically, the NCA's work with international partners produced more than 500 boats and engines seized, equipment that would otherwise have been loaded onto French beaches and pointed at Dover. In parallel, the NCA worked with social media platforms to have more than 10,000 accounts, posts, and pages linked to organised immigration crime removed from their platforms. Advertising services, recruitment pages, price lists, and departure logistics run openly on mainstream platforms by criminal networks that understood exactly how many potential customers were watching. Rob Jones, NCA Director General of Operations, made the scope of the commitment explicit. Organised immigration crime remains a top priority for the NCA, and we are putting more resource into targeting the criminal networks behind it than ever before. We are also taking the fight against the gangs outside of Europe to locations like Iraq and Libya, targeting criminal networks who are operating in locations where they previously thought themselves untouchable. Reason number 2. The NCA's former number 1 global target, the man who supplied equipment used in half of all channel crossings in 2023, was jailed for 11 years in January 2026. This conviction defines what the NCA means when it says it is targeting the architecture rather than the boats. Adam Savas, a 45-year-old Turkish national, was the single most significant supplier of boats and engines to channel people smuggling gangs in the world. From 2019 until his arrest at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam in November 2024, Savas ran what appeared to be a legitimate maritime supply company, while in reality supplying complete equipment packages to people smuggling networks across Belgium and France, charging around £4,000 per kit and making millions. The NCA assessed that in 2023 alone, Savas supplied equipment used in around half of all channel crossings. 3 co-defendants received combined sentences totaling 38 years. Savas himself was jailed for 11 years by a Belgian court in Bruges and fined €400,000. NCA Director General Rob Jones stated, Adam Savas was without doubt the most significant supplier of boats and engines to people smuggling gangs involved in organising deadly crossings in the Channel. He also knew exactly how unsuitable the equipment was for long sea crossings. Boats and engines supplied by Savas were likely involved in numerous fatal events in the Channel. He made money from each of those. The NCA had originally identified Savas through an investigation into Kurdish crime boss Hewa Rahimpour, the head of a major Europe-wide smuggling ring behind the movement of more than 10,000 migrants, who was arrested in 2022 living in Ilford, East London. Reason number 3. In March 2026, NCA officers deployed to Germany uncovered Go kits, complete boat, engine and inner tube packages worth over €10,000 each, being assembled and driven toward France for Channel launches. This is the supply chain the NCA seized 500 boats from, and understanding what a Go kit is tells you everything about how industrialized this operation has become. The NCA received intelligence in March 2025 about a suspect consignment of tyre inner tubes being shipped into Italy. The inner tubes, distributed to migrants on Channel boats in place of life jackets, were being transported to storage locations in Germany, where they would be combined with inflatable boats, pumps, and engines to form complete packages. Each Go kit, priced at over €10,000 on the criminal market, was suitable for one small boat launch. Between April and December 2025, 7 different vehicles carrying these kits were intercepted in Belgium as they drove toward France, with additional interceptions in France, Germany, and the Netherlands. In March 2026, the NCA deployed officers to Germany as part of a coordinated operation that produced 4 arrests and the seizure of dozens more boats, engines, and equipment. NCA Deputy Director Craig Turner confirmed what the kit contained and what it represented. These vessels are completely unsuitable for what they are being used for, with 70 or more people crammed on, propelled by a hugely underpowered engine. The fact that they are being put into the open sea in one of the world's busiest shipping lanes demonstrates the complete disregard these criminal networks have for the safety of those they transport. Reason number 4. An Egyptian people smuggler was jailed for 25 years in May 2025 for moving thousands of migrants across the Mediterranean, operating from an address in Hounslow, London. The Channel smuggling networks do not begin in France. They begin in countries of origin, in transit cities across North Africa and the Middle East, and, in documented prosecuted cases, in addresses inside Britain itself. Ahmed Ramadan Mohammad Ebid, an Egyptian national, was jailed for 25 years in May 2025 after the NCA, working with Italian law enforcement, linked him to smuggling operations moving thousands of people across the Mediterranean from Libya. He was arrested not in Libya, not in Italy, not in France, but in Hounslow, London. The man coordinating the movement of thousands of human beings across one of the world's most lethal migration routes was living in a residential address in West London while the operation continued. This is what the NCA means when it describes organised immigration crime as accounting for a quarter of the agency's entire operational activity, with around 100 investigations ongoing into the top tier of this criminal threat. The people organising Channel crossings are not all on French beaches. Some are in British cities. Some are managing operations across multiple continents from laptops and encrypted phones, collecting payment through Hawala systems, and watching crossing numbers on the same news feeds the rest of us use. Reason number 5. Over 204,000 people have crossed the Channel since 2018, with the average boat now carrying 64 people, nearly 10 times the 2018 figure. And the crossing price has collapsed from €14,000 to under €1,500. The human scale of what these networks have delivered to Britain's shores in 8 years is now confirmed by the Home Office's own data. 204,494 migrants detected crossing the Channel in small boats since 2018 as of the end of June 2026. In 2025 alone, around 41,500 people made the crossing, the second highest annual total in history. 12% of those arriving in 2025 were children under 18, and the boats carrying them are now dramatically more dangerous than the vessels used when crossings began. The average number of people per boat has risen from 7 in 2018 to 65 in the first half of 2026, a 9-fold increase in passenger load on boats whose structural capacity has not increased to match. The price collapse tells its own story about the economics of the operation. Crossing prices had fallen from around €14,000 in 2018 to under €4,000 by 2024, with media investigations indicating prices as low as €1,500 in early 2026. The market has moved down market. More people per boat, lower price per head, higher total revenue per launch. The smugglers are running a volume business, and the risk of that volume is borne entirely by the people in the water, not the people collecting the payments. Reason number 6. Britain and France signed a £660 million 3-year deal in April 2026, and 2026 crossings are tracking 36% below the same period last year. But on July 1st, a boat with over 100 people on board still crossed. The government's response has escalated in 2026 in ways that have not been fully reported. In April 2026, the UK and France signed a £660 million three-year agreement specifically to prevent migrants reaching British shores, including stationing riot police on beaches. Crossings in the first months of 2026 are tracking 36% below the equivalent period in 2025. The Border Security, Asylum and Immigration Act became law in December 2025. The NCA's arrest rate for organised immigration crime is up 55%, 500 boats seized, 400 networks disrupted, and on July 1st, 2026, yesterday, a small boat carrying over 100 migrants crossed the English Channel. The average boat in 2026 now carries 64 people, the highest ever recorded. Because the networks are not defeated, they are squeezed. And when you squeeze a criminal network that is making millions from a crossing price that has already fallen to €1,500, the response is not to stop. The response is to put more people on each boat, charge a lower fare per head, and keep the money flowing. The NCA is fighting this war with more resource than ever. The question is whether enforcement alone, however sophisticated, however international, however well-funded, can win a war against a criminal market priced at €1,500 a crossing and backed by networks the Director General of the NCA himself describes as operating from Iraq, Libya, Ethiopia, and Turkey. Subscribe to British Front Media.